Organic Chemistry, Chapter 3, Spectroscopy. 3.1 Introduction. Spectroscopy is the branch of science which deals with the study of interaction of electromagnetic radiations with matter. The most important feature of electromagnetic interaction is that energy is absorbed or emitted by the matter in discrete amounts called quanta. Spectroscopic techniques are generally used to measure the energy difference between various molecular energy levels and to determine the atomic and molecular structures. The instruments used in such studies are called spectrophotometers. Special devices are added in spectrophotometers for the automatic recording of spectra. The spectrum of the molecule is presented as a continuous graph by plotting either absorbance or transmittance of electromagnetic radiations as a function of wavelength or wave number over a particular range. 3.2 Characteristics of electromagnetic radiations. The term electromagnetic radiations represent the radiant energy emitted from any source in the form of heat or light. These waves have both electric and magnetic field associated with them and are therefore known as electromagnetic radiations. Some important characteristics of these waves are given below. First, these waves are associated with both electric and magnetic field oscillating perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave as shown in figure 1. Second, they have dual nature, that is, particle nature as well as wave nature. For example, a beam of light is a stream of particles called photons moving through space in form of waves. Third, they do not require any medium for propagation. Fourth, they travel with the velocity of light c is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Fifth, all these waves are characterized by their wavelength, frequency and velocity according to the equation mu is equal to c by lambda. The quantity 1 by lambda is known as wave number. 3.3 Reasons of electromagnetic spectrum. When the different types of electromagnetic radiations are arranged in order of their increasing wavelength or decreasing frequencies, the complete arrangement is known as electromagnetic spectrum. This is shown in table 1. The increasing order of wavelength of electromagnetic radiation is cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays, visible light, infrared rays, microwave, radio waves. Reverse is the order of electromagnetic addition and increasing order of energies as given below: radio waves, microwaves, IR, visible, UV, X-rays, gamma rays, cosmic rays. Any wavelength of light that a particular molecule will absorb will be due to changes in the electronic, vibrational and rotational energy levels permissible for its atom. Since each mode of excitation requires a specific quantity of energy, so the different absorptions occurs in the different region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Thus, the interaction of radiation with matter in different ways by various processes give rise to different branches of spectroscopy. 3.4 Basic features of spectroscopy. Introduction to molecular spectroscopy. When energy is absorbed by atoms, their electrons jump to higher energy levels, and while coming back to their ground state energy level, they emit the energy level equal to the difference between the energies of two levels. This emission of radiation by an atom is known as atomic spectra. For example, atomic spectra of hydrogen atom contains a number of lines like Lyman series, Balmer series, Paschen series, Brackett series and Pfund series. However, in case of molecules, when the energy is absorbed, it can undergo rotational, vibrational or electronic transitions depending on the amount of energy absorbed. Just as electronic energy is quantized, that is, there are only discrete electronic energy levels in an atom or a molecule, the rotational and vibrational energies are also quantized. That is, there are only discrete rotational and vibrational energy levels in a molecule. These rotational, vibrational, and electronic energy levels of a molecule are collectively known as molecular energy levels. The transitions of energies can take place only between these levels and result in a molecular spectrum. The molecular energy level are shown in figure 2. It is clear from the energy level diagram that each electronic energy level is associated with a series of vibrational energy levels, and each vibrational energy level is associated with a series of rotational energy levels. The lower energy levels are designated by Vj, whereas higher energy levels are designated by single prime. When the energy absorbed by a molecule is so large that an electron can jump from one electronic energy level to another, then as the energy required for transition from one vibrational energy level to another is much less and from one rotational to another is still less, thus electronic transition is always accompanied by the transition between the vibrational levels as well as the rotational levels. Thus, molecular spectrum is a much more complex than atomic spectra. Atomic spectra contains lines, whereas molecular spectra contains group of closely spaced lines. Each such group is known as a band. As atomic spectra helps in the study of structure of atoms, the study of molecular spectra gives even more information about the structure and properties of molecule, such as bond length, bond angle, bond strength, shape, moment of inertia, dipole moment, etc. 3.5 Absorption and emission spectroscopy. As we know that molecular energy levels are quantized, the transitions between these energy levels take place according to certain rules known as selection rules. To understand how does a spectrum arise, consider two molecular energy levels E1 and E2 with energy difference del E is equal to E2 minus E1, which is equal to h nu as shown in figure 3.A and B. The transition between any two energy levels can take place in either of the following two ways. First, the transition may take place from lower energy level to higher energy level by absorbing energy. This is known as absorption spectroscopy, and the spectrum thus obtained is known as absorption spectrum. Second, the transition may take place from higher energy level to lower energy levels and thus emitting the excess energy as a photon. This is known as emission spectroscopy, and the spectrum thus obtained is known as emission spectrum. In both cases, the energy of the photon h nu emitted or absorbed is given by del E is equal to E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu is equal to hc by lambda. In terms of wavelength, lambda is equal to hc by delta E. In terms of wave number, is equal to 1 by lambda is equal to mu by c. It may be noted that both emission and absorption spectroscopies give the same information about the energy level separations. Generally, the absorption spectroscopy is used as it is easier to interpret than emission spectra. Emission spectroscopy is used only when the visible or UV light are used. 3.6 Experimental setup for absorption spectroscopy. The diagram of a spectrometer used in absorption spectroscopy is shown in figure 1.4. It consists of mainly 6 parts, namely, first, source of radiation. The source of radiation in the spectrophotometer is the tungsten filament emitting visible light for the visible region, or a hydrogen discharge lamp if the spectra in UV region are to be taken. Second, slit. The slit is used to get a fine beam of radiations coming from the source. Third, monochromator. The monochromator is a device used for getting the monochromatic radiations, that is, the radiation of single frequency. Fourth, sample cell. The sample cell contains the compound for which the spectrum is required. The monochromatic radiations fall on this sample cell. Fifth, dispersing element. To analyze the spectral radiations, the dispersing element is used, which is generally a glass prism or a quartz prism or a diffraction grating. Sixth, detector. Detector is a device which converts the spectral radiation into an electrical signal that is transmitted to a recording device called a recorder. The recorder produces either a print on the chart or gives a computer record of the spectrum. 3.7 Signal to noise ratio. To magnify the detected signals, the electronic amplification device is used in the spectrophotometer. Then these magnified signals are passed on to a recording device to produce a plot on chart. One such plot is given in figure 5. It is clear from the above figure that there are number of random peaks in the background of spectrum. These random peaks are known as fluctuations. These fluctuations are known as noise. These fluctuations are due to some component present along with the sample or may be due to the false electronic signals produced by the detector. In order to distinguish the real spectral peak from the noise, the intensity of real peak should be 3 to 4 times more than that of the noise signal. There are different ways to improve the signal to noise ratio. First, the use of hardware devices such as filters, lock-in amplifier, etc. can enhance SNR. Second, by damping out the oscillations of the recorder pan, the SNR can be enhanced. This will make pan less susceptible to high frequency noise and the baseline of the spectrum will be smoother. Third, the spectrum of a solvent or background can be stored in computer and subtracted from the observed spectrum in order to isolate the spectrum of the substance. For example, in IR spectra, the signal due to carbon dioxide are subtracted. Fourth, still another technique involves the recording of the spectrum into steps and store the intensity of points in computer memory. In one scan, a weak signal may not be visible above the noise level, but after n scans, signal will be n times larger in the store. But n scans increase the noise only by n by 2. So there is net increase in S by n ratio. Fifth, the software technique like Fourier transformation had gained lot of importance in spectroscopy. This technique involves mathematical operation and is described below. A. The general method of representing the spectra is in the form of intensity of radiation as a frequency function. B. Another method of representing the spectra is in the form of intensity of radiation as a function of time. Thus, there are two types of spectra. One is frequency domain and the other in the time domain. FT contains all the information about the spectra that IV contains and vice versa. IV can be transposed into FT by a mathematical operation known as Fourier transformation. The advantage of FT spectroscopy is its speed. With a very small computer, it is possible to carry out the FT of a spectrum in a few seconds. To observe the spectrum in the frequency domain, a good deal of time is required because scanning has to be done gradually over a long range of frequencies. But to observe the spectrum in the time domain, all frequencies can be supplied at once to the sample within a short interval of time. Thus, time domain spectrum is very fast as compared to frequency domain spectrum, which may require 15 minutes to scan the spectrum. This rapid scanning enhances the S by N ratio. Fourier transformation technique is used in IR and NMR spectroscopy. Thus, we have FT-IR, FT-NMR, FT-UV, etc. spectroscopies. This technique produces well-resolved absorption spectrum with a good signal to noise SNR ratio. 3.8 Resolving power. The resolving power is defined as the measure of the performance of spectrometer. It is the ability of a spectrometer to distinguish adjacent absorption bands or two very close spectral lines as separate entities. No molecular absorption takes place at a single frequency only, but spread over a range of frequencies, usually very narrow but sometimes quite large. Let us consider two such lines close together. As on the right of figure 6, the dotted curve represents the absorption due to each line separately. The full line represents their combined absorption. In procedure, the absorption peaks pass through the exit slit and get registered on a detector. Figure 6.a shows unresolved absorption peaks which pass through white slit as in figure 6b and figure 6c and finally detected as single peak. Figure 6d. In this case, the width of the slit is equal to the separation between the peaks. But if the slit is made narrower, the resolving power can be increased. However, if the slit is made too narrow, it allows less energy from the beam to reach the detectors and thus a weak signal will be observed. Thus, an optimum condition is achieved where there is a balance between slit width and the intensity of the absorption peak. By the use of very narrow slit, the detector registers not only the main peak but gives a diffraction pattern of a number of smaller peaks at plus minus lambda, plus minus 2 lambda, etc. from the center of the main peak as shown in figure 7. 3.9 Types of molecular energies and Born-Offener approximations. A molecule possesses 4 different types of energies. These are as follows. First, transitional energy. It is due to the transitional motion of the molecule and due to the center of gravity of the molecule changes. Second, rotational energy. It is due to the rotation of molecule about an axis perpendicular to the internuclear axis and passing through the center of gravity of the molecule. Third, vibrational energy. It is due to and fro motion of the nuclei of the molecule without any change in the position of the center of gravity of the molecule. Fourth, electronic energy. It is due to various electronic interactions in the molecule. By the absorption of energy, the transition of electron takes place from the lower electronic energy level to higher electronic energy level. According to Born-Offener approximation, the total energy of a molecule is the sum of translational, rotational, vibrational and electronic energies. 3.10 Types of molecular spectra. The molecular spectra arise due to transitional or excitation between various energy levels of a molecule. We already know that the separation between two electronic energy level is a very large as compared to vibrational energy levels, which in turn have larger separation than the rotational energy levels. The different types of molecular spectra observed depending upon the energy absorbed and the regions of the electromagnetic spectrum in which they are absorbed, and these are explained as below. First, rotational spectra. If the energy absorbed by the molecule is low and such that the transition takes place from one rotational level to another rotational level, the spectra obtained is known as rotational spectra. The spectra is obtained in the microwave region or far infrared region. That's why also known as the microwave spectra. The spectra is shown by the molecules having permanent dipole moment, for example water, ammonia, NO, HCl, etc. Second, vibrational rotational spectra. If the energy absorbed by the molecule is large and such that the transition takes place from one vibrational level to another vibrational level within the same electronic level, then the energies required for the transition between rotational levels are still less. Both types of transition will take place. Thus, the spectra obtained is known as vibrational rotational spectrum. The spectra is obtained in the near infrared region, and that's why also known as infrared spectra. The spectra is shown when the vibrational motion of a molecule is accompanied by a change in dipole moment of the molecule. For example, carbon dioxide, water, ammonia, etc. Third, electronic spectra. If the energy absorbed by the molecule is so high that the transition takes place from one electronic energy level to another, then this will also be accompanied by vibrational level changes, and each of this is further accompanied by rotational level changes. For each vibrational change, a set of closely spaced lines is observed due to rotational level changes. Such a group of closely spaced rotational lines is known as a band. Thus, for a given electronic transition, a set of bands is observed. This set of bands is known as a band group or a band system. Thus, whereas atom gives line spectra, molecule gives band spectra. As high excitation energy is required for electronic transition, the energy is available in the visible and UV region. Fourth, Raman spectra. This is also a type of vibrational rotational spectrum and is based on the scattering of radiation and not on the absorption of radiations by the sample. A beam of monochromatic radiation of the visible region is made to fall on the sample and scattering is observed at right angles to the direction of incident beam. The scattering beam having frequency equal to that of the incident beam is known as Rayleigh scattering, whereas the scattered light having different frequencies than the incident beam is known as Raman spectrum. This spectra is observed in the visible region. Fifth, nuclear magnetic resonance spectra. This spectra arises from the transition between the nuclear spin energy levels of the molecule when an external magnetic field is applied on it. The energies involved in these transitions are very high, which lie in the radio frequency region. Sixth, electron spin resonance spectra. This spectrum arises from the transitions between the electronic spin energy levels of the molecule when an external magnetic field is applied on it. These involve frequencies corresponding to the microwave region. 3.11 Selection rules in spectroscopy. Atomic as well as molecular spectra are obtained due to transition between different energy levels. However, such transition can take place only between definite energy levels and not between any two energy levels. The restrictions thus applied on the transition are governed by certain rule is known as selection rule. If these rules are followed, the transition can take place and is known as allowed transition. If these rules are not followed, the transition cannot take place and is known as forbidden transitions. The selection rule depends upon the type of transition. For a molecule to interact with the electromagnetic radiation and to absorb or emit a photon of frequency mu, it must possess a dipole at that frequency, the dipole moment of which is known as transition dipole moment. The intensity of the transition is proportional to the square of the transition dipole moment. Thus, a transition is allowed only if mu Tr is not equal to 0. Hence, pure rotational spectra are observed only for molecules which have permanent dipole moment. A gross selection rule specifies the general features that a molecule must have in order to give a particular type of spectrum. The specific selection rules are generally expressed in terms of changes in quantum number for the allowed transition. For the pure rotational transition, the selection rule is delta J is equal to plus minus 1, where J represents rotational quantum number. Similarly, for pure vibrational transition, the selection rule is del nu is equal to plus minus 1, where nu represents vibrational quantum number. 3.12 Width and intensities of the spectral lines. Two very important properties of any spectral lines are: first, width of the spectral line, that is how sharp or broad is the peak. Second, intensity of the spectral line indicates how strong or weak is the given peak. First, the width of the spectral line. A sharp spectral line having no width is shown in figure 8.a. Actually, we observe line having certain width as shown in figure 8.b. Factors contributing to the width of the spectral line. The factors which cause broadening of the spectral line are A. Collision broadening, second, Doppler broadening, and C. Lifetime broadening. A. Collision broadening. In the gaseous or liquid phase, the atoms or molecules continuously collide with each other. These collisions cause distortion of the electron cloud of outer electron, and hence the energy levels of these electrons are also disturbed. The transitions between perturbed levels cause cause broadening of spectral lines. The collision broadening accounts for the width of visible and UV spectral line. B. Doppler broadening. The cause of this broadening is Doppler effect. According to this effect, the frequency of absorbed or emitted radiation changes when the molecule is moving towards or away from the observer or the observing instrument. Collision broadening is most important factor for liquids, but for gases, Doppler effect accounts for the width of spectral lines. According to the kinetic theory of gases, the molecules of gas are continuously moving in a random motion. If a molecule is moving towards the observer with velocity mu, then the frequency mu dash of the radiation seen by the molecule is equal to nu 1 plus mu by c, where nu is the actual frequency of the radiation. On rearranging the equations, so the quantity mu minus mu dash is equal to del mu is called Doppler shift or Doppler broadening. In a gaseous sample, molecules are moving in all possible directions with different speed. Some are moving towards the observer and some are moving away from the observer. Thus, the observed frequency becomes higher or lower than the actual frequency of the radiation. All resulting Doppler shift cause broadening of the spectral lines. Figure 9 shows Doppler broadened spectral lines at 3 different temperatures. From the kinetic theory of gases, it is known that Doppler broadening of a spectral line of a molecule of mass m at temperature T is given by is equal to 2 mu by c under root 2 kt ln of 2 by m. Thus, we can say that Doppler broadening increases with increase in temperature because the molecular speeds increase with the increase of temperature. Hence, it is best to work at low temperature to obtain the spectra of maximum sharpness. C. Lifetime broadening. This type of broadening occurs in all types of samples, that is, gases, liquids, solids, or solution. This is based on the fundamental uncertainty principle. According to this principle, the energy levels of a molecules are not sharp but are blurred, or the energies of the levels are changing with time. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle says that if a system exists in an energy state for a time of del t seconds, then the energy of that state will be uncertain by an amount del E. Mathematically, del E into del t is equal to h by 2 pi. Here del t is called the lifetime and del E is the energy uncertainty of the state. The corresponding uncertainty in the radiation frequency in terms of wave number is del E by h is equal to h by 2 pi h del t, that is 1 by 2 pi del t. The quantity del E or del mu dash is called lifetime broadening or uncertainty broadening. It is clear from equation that del mu dash is inversely proportional to del t. Thus, shorter is the lifetime of states involved in transition, larger is the broadening of the spectral line. Actual broadening of spectral lines are far more dependent on collision and Doppler broadening than on lifetime broadening. Second, the intensity of spectral line. The intensity of a spectral line depends on 3 main factors. A. The transition probability, that is the possibility of transition occurring from one energy level to the other level. B. The population or the number of molecules initially present in the state from which the transition takes place. C. The intensity of the incident radiation. The transition probability means whether a particular transition will occur between the two given energy levels or not. The selection rule determines whether a particular transition is allowed or forbidden. The allowed transition give intense spectral lines, whereas forbidden transition either give no spectral line or a weak line. Similarly, when the intensity of incident radiation is increased, the rate of transition is increased and thus intensity of spectral line also increases. The intensity of spectral line is proportional to the population difference between the two energy levels. At a given temperature, if n naught is the number of molecules in the ground state, then the number of molecules n in the excited state is given by the Boltzmann distribution law. On rearranging, we get n by n naught is equal to e to the power minus delta E by kt, where k is the Boltzmann constant. Delta E is equal to E minus E naught. E is the energy of higher or excited state and E naught is the energy of ground state. If the value of delta E is large, then n by n naught will be small. It means the excited state is less populated than ground state. Hence, the spectral lines arising from the transitions between the ground state and the higher state will be more intense than those arising from transitions between the first excited state to higher excited state. 3.13 Degrees of freedom of motion. Consider a molecule made up of an atom. As all the mass of an atom is concentrated in its nucleus, and we know that the size of a nucleus is very small. The radius of nucleus is of order 10 to the power minus 15 meter and the radius of atom is of order 10 to the power minus 10 meter. The atoms may be considered as mass points. To represent each mass point, we require 3 coordinates. Thus, to represent position of n mass points in space, we require 3n coordinates. The number of coordinates required to specify the position of all the mass points, that is atoms in a molecule, is called the degree of freedom. Thus, a molecule made up of n atom has 3n degrees of freedom. According to kinetic theory of matter, when the thermal energy is absorbed by a molecule, it is stored within the molecule in the form of translational motion of molecule and rotational vibrational motion of the atoms within the molecule. The translational motion of the molecule means the motion of the center of the mass of the molecule as a whole. The center of mass of molecule can be represented by 3 coordinates. Hence, there are 3 translational degrees of freedom. The remaining 3n minus 3 coordinates represents the internal degrees of freedom. The internal degrees of freedom may be subdivided into first, rotational degrees of freedom and second, vibrational degrees of freedom. For a rotational motion, there are 2 degrees of freedom for a linear molecule and 3 for a non-linear molecule as shown in figure. The remaining degrees of freedom describe the motion of the nuclei with respect to one another and thus represents the vibrational degrees of freedom. Thus, vibrational degrees of freedom of a linear molecule containing an atom is equal to 3n minus 5. And vibrational degrees of freedom of a non-linear molecule containing an atom is equal to 3n minus 6. Let's consider some example for calculation of vibrational degrees of freedom. First, CO. It is a diatomic molecule and it is always linear. Its vibrational degree of freedom is equal to 3n minus 5 is equal to 1. Second, CO2, linear polyatomic molecule. Vibrational degree of freedom is equal to 3n minus 5 is equal to 4. Third, water, non-linear polyatomic molecule. Vibrational degree of freedom is equal to 3n minus 6 is equal to 3. In this way, we can calculate the vibrational degree of freedom for both linear and non-linear molecules. In terms of coordinates, the vibrational degrees of freedom represent the interatomic distances and the angles to specify the geometry of the atomic framework within the molecule. In terms of molecular motions, the vibrational degree of freedom represent the number of independent vibrational modes that can occur in the molecule, the vibrational energy being associated with each mode. The only one mode of vibration of a diatomic molecule like CO, 4 modes of vibration of linear triatomic CO2 molecule and 3 modes of vibration of non-linear triatomic H2O molecule as shown in figure 11. 3.14 Energy levels of a rigid rotator. The rotational spectra arises due to the transitions between the rotational and energy levels of gaseous molecules on absorption of light in microwave region. The spectra is shown by molecules having permanent dipole moment, example water, ammonia, etc. The molecules having no permanent dipole moment do not exhibit spectra in the microwave region. The homonuclear diatomic molecules such as H2, O2, N2, etc. are non-polar and do not exhibit rotational spectra. Similarly, the symmetrical molecules do not have permanent dipole moment and thus do not exhibit rotational spectra. A. Energy level of rigid rotator. On the basis of wave mechanics, it can be seen that if diatomic molecule is considered to be a rigid rotator, that is like a rigid dumbbell joined along with its line of centers by a bone equal in length to the distance r0 between the two nuclei as shown in figure 12, then the allowed rotational energies of the molecule around the axis passing through the center of gravity and perpendicular to the line joining the nuclei are given by Er is equal to h square j into j plus 1 by 8 pi square I, where j is the rotational quantum number having values 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. and I is the moment of inertia of the molecule between the axes of rotation, where m1 and m2 are the atomic masses of the two atoms of the diatomic molecule and mu is the reduced mass. Mu is equal to m1 m2 by m1 plus m2. Derivation of the expression for rotational energy. Center of gravity of diatomic molecule is the point which satisfies the following condition: m1r1 is equal to m2r2. The moment of inertia of a diatomic molecule is given by I is equal to m1r1 square plus m2r2 square is equal to m2r2r1 plus m1r1r2. But r1 plus r2 is equal to r0 and r2 is equal to r0 minus r1. So putting the value of r2 from equation 8 in equation 4, we get m1 r1 is equal to m2 into r0 minus r1. r1 is equal to m2 r0 by m1 plus m2. Similarly, r2 is equal to m1 r0 by m1 plus m2. On substituting these values, we get I is equal to mu r0 square. Now by the definition, the angular momentum of a rotating molecule is given by L is equal to I omega, where omega is the angular velocity. But we know that angular momentum is quantized, whose value is given as L is equal to under root j into j plus 1 into h by 2 pi, where j is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 called the rotational quantum number. Further, the energy of a rotating molecule is given by Er is equal to 1 by 2 I omega square. The quantized value of the rotational energy will be given by Er is equal to L square by 2I. Substituting these values, we get Er is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into j of j plus 1. Putting j equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. The pattern of rotational energy level obtained will be shown in figure 13. Evidently, the spacing between the energy level increases as the value of j increases. 3.15 Selection rule for rotational spectra. According to the selection rule, the transitions take place only between those rotational energies level for which delta j is equal to plus minus 1. That is, the change in rotational quantum number is unity. The transition delta j is equal to plus 1 corresponds to absorption and delta j is equal to minus 1 corresponds to emission. In other words, a transition can take place from a particular rotational level to just the next higher or just the lower rotational level. All these transitions can take place with equal probability, whereas all other transitions are forbidden. 3.16 Rotational spectra of diatomic molecules. As discussed earlier, the allowed rotational energies are given by equation Er is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into j plus 1. As E is equal to h nu, therefore in terms of frequency we can write nu is equal to h by 8 pi square I into j of j plus 1. Further, C is equal to mu lambda. So in terms of wave number, it is written as bj into j plus 1, where b is equal to h by 8 pi square IC is called as rotational constant. Putting j is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., the wave numbers of different rotational levels will be 0, 2b, 6b, 12b, 20b and so on. When a transition takes place from a lower rotational level with rotational quantum number j to a higher rotational level with rotational quantum number j, the energy absorbed will be given by delta ER is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into j dash of j dash plus 1 minus j of j plus 1. However, according to the rotational selection rules, only those rotational transitions are allowed for which delta j is equal to plus minus 1. Hence, in the present case, j dash is equal to j plus 1. On substituting these value, delta ER is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into 2 of j plus 1. To express this in terms of wave number, we put is a wave number is equal to 2b of j plus 1. So wave number represents the wave number of spectral lines which will be obtained as a result of transitions between the rotational levels. Putting j is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, or in general form j to j plus 1 involving absorption of energy, the wave number of line obtained will be 2b, 4b, 6b, 8b and so on. The most important feature of the pure rotational spectrum is that every two successive lines have a constant difference of wave number equal to 2b. This is called frequency separation or wave number separation. Thus, the various lines in the rotational spectra will be equally spaced. The separation between any two successive lines will have the difference in wave number given by del mu dash is equal to 2b is equal to h by 4 pi square IC. Another important feature of the spectra is that the intensities of different transitions are not equal. The intensities increase with increasing j, pass through a maximum and then decrease as j further increase. The main features of a rotational spectra are shown in figure 114. 3.17 Relative intensities of rotational spectral lines. The relative intensities of spectral lines will depend upon the relative populations of the energy levels. Greater is the population of an energy level, greater will be the number of molecules that can be promoted to the next higher level, and hence greater is the intensity of absorption. According to the Boltzmann distribution law, the population of a rotational energy level with quantum number j is given by the equation Nj by N naught is equal to e to the power minus Ej by Kt, equation 1. Rotational energy levels are degenerate and the degeneracy of any rotational level with quantum number j is given by Gj is equal to 2j plus 1. Thus, the relative population of an energy level and hence intensity of the rotational lines will be proportional to the product of both the above factors. That is, intensity is directly proportional to Nj by N naught. As the value of j increases, the factor 2j plus 1 increases, but the exponential factor decreases very slowly in the starting and then rapidly as the value of j becomes higher and higher. Hence, the graph of a rigid diatomic molecule between Nj by N naught versus j is obtained as shown in figure 50. 3.18 Types of molecule exhibiting rotational spectra. As mentioned earlier, the gross selection rule for obtaining a pure rotational spectrum is that the molecule must have a permanent dipole moment so that it can interact with the electromagnetic radiation and absorb or emit a photon. Thus, we can say that a pure rotational spectrum is obtained only for polar molecules, that is water, ammonia, NO, N2O, etc. These molecules have permanent dipole moments. Homonuclear diatomic molecules and symmetrical linear molecules like carbon dioxide, benzene do not give rotational spectra as they do not have permanent dipole moments. 3.19 Structural information from rotational spectra. By studying the rotational spectrum, that is by determining the frequency separation, it is possible to calculate the moment of inertia I by using the relation B is equal to h by 8 pi square IC. Then by knowing the masses of atom present in the diatomic molecule, it is possible to calculate the distance between the atoms R naught, that is internuclear distance or bond length. 3.20 Determination of bond length. The rotational spectra can be used to determine the bond distance of a diatomic molecule, as we know B is equal to h by 8 pi square IC. So, from here I is equal to mu r square and r is equal to under root I by mu. 3.21 Isotopic effect. When a particular atom in a molecule is replaced by its isotope, the resulting molecule is chemically identical with the original one. The internuclear distance does not change on isotopic substitution, but there is change in total mass and hence change in the moment of inertia I and the value B for the molecule. As I appears in the denominator, the increase in the value of I decreases the value of B. In this way, the energy of various rotational level decreases and so the energy level become close to one another. Hence, the spacing between two adjacent energy levels 2b is decreased. This can be explained with the help of an example. Consider carbon monoxide molecule on going from 12CO to 13CO. There is an increase in mass of carbon atom from 12C to 13C. Hence, the value of B decreases. Therefore, the separation between the spectral lines of 13CO will be smaller than those of 12CO. So, the value of B and B dash, we can write B by B dash is equal to mu dash by mu, where mu is the reduced mass and the internuclear distance remain unchanged on isotopic substitution. Thus, B by B dash is equal to mu dash by mu. Using this equation, the atomic mass of 13C can be determined. The effect of isotopic substitution on the energy levels and spectrum is shown in figure 16. Isotopic effects can be used to determine the atomic masses of the isotope. The relative abundance of the isotopes can be determined by comparison of the absorption intensities. 3.22 Experimental details of microwave rotational spectroscopy. The source of radiation is a special type of electronic oscillator called klystron. It produces monochromatic radiations of frequency corresponding to wavelength range of 0.1 to few hundred centimeters. The energies corresponding to these wavelengths are same as required for rotational transition. The procedure consists in passing the monochromatic energy of microwave through the gaseous sample of the substance being studied and measuring the intensity of the transmitted radiation. By varying the frequency of the oscillator and observing the intensity of transmitted beam, the frequencies at which absorption takes place can be determined from the plot of transmitted intensity versus frequency. From these data, the structural parameters like the moment of inertia, internuclear distance, etc. can be calculated. The experimental setup for microwave spectrum is shown in the figure 17. Thank you.